going on, sports fans? It's that time of the week again, time for the Student Section Summer League podcast. I am your host, Dom Taylor, along with my co-hosts, Cooper Husky and Dylan Morgan. Guys, as always, how are we doing today?
Doing amazing, man. We got some good stuff to talk about. I'm ready, man.
It's been a great weekend, and I get to end it with Student Section. Can there be anything better? I think not.
No. Let me answer that for you. There's not anything better anywhere in the world than doing the Student Section Summer League podcast right here from our garage, bedroom, ETs, etc. Now, guys, we got a lot of stuff going on today. It was a pretty thick script that we had. We're going to talk a little bit about the MLB and just some of the games that we've got coming up this Thursday because the league is starting up finally. We're just going to talk a little bit about some of those opening games, maybe some of those division winners, some of our predictions, and maybe a eventual World Series winner prediction. And then we're going to jump right into some recruiting. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the world of recruiting just in the last month. And then finally, we're going to have a discussion about the Madden ratings that just came out. They've been kind of trickling out for the last couple of weeks. So let's see, we're going to give our opinions. Did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? Are we angry? Are we scared? Do we feel that somebody's going to break the game with one of these characters? I don't know. We'll figure that out. But this is the Student Section Summer League podcast. Now, guys, MLB predictions. Opening day of the MLB Corona season, as we're going to call it this year. We're playing just about 60 games. It's not even close to what we would usually be playing. They're basically playing half a season going into the MLB playoffs. It starts the 23rd. So this upcoming Thursday, we've got a couple games. The opening night is going to be the Yankees, the Nationals, and the Giants at the Dodgers. Who do we have for the winners of those games? Those are some very high-profile, high-talent, tough teams that are opening up the season.
I think in that first matchup, you got to go, I think, with the Yankees. I know the Nationals are coming off of, a very large Cinderella story type ending with their World Series win. But I think with I believe, either Max Scherzer or another one of their starting pitchers will not be playing due to coronavirus. And I believe their second baseman is also not going to be playing, Ryan Zimmerman. So those are going to be some tough for a team who was already an underdog last year when they won it, going up against a really talented Yankees team, as we know, with the big signing of Garrett Cole in the offseason. So I think the Yankees are going to take that one. And then I think the Dodgers are going to follow it up on the other side. Dodgers, as we'll get into in a little bit, the Dodgers are stacked head to toe, a lot of talent in that lineup, so we should see them get the early wins.
I have to agree with both predictions here. I mean, the Yankees are just stacked. The Nationals will be fun to watch this year, coming off their Cinderella run and World Series win. They will definitely be a fun team to watch, but the Yankees just got talent pouring out of their ears. Like, it is crazy how good that team is. And the Dodgers as well, just the Yankees of the National League. Those two teams just seem to be dominating right now, and I think they'll win Game 1.
Yeah, I got to agree with both of you guys. I'm taking the Yankees on this. Too much talent, that Nationals team. It's pretty hard for MLB teams especially to kind of pick up right back where they left off. I mean, defending a World Series is pretty tough to do, especially in the MLB, just how many pieces are moving around. And the Nationals have had a lot of those pieces kind of shift. There's been some, injuries and sickness and things like that. I got to go with the Yankees. They've had an incredible offseason. And, I think they're going to open it up, start off the right way. Now, what about the Giants at the Dodgers? I know we just said that the Dodgers are basically the Yankees of the NL, but what are we thinking for this game? I think it's going to be a little bit of an obvious choice. The Giants are nowhere near where they used to be, but for posterity, who's going to win this one?
Yeah, as I said, I think it's the Dodgers all the way. Just a very stacked lineup. Giants, they have some good players right now. Obviously, we know Buster Posey, the legend right there. But no, I don't think this will be a contest whatsoever. In all honesty,
the Giants have one of my personal favorite players, and that's Evan Longoria, who spent 10 years with the Rays. We traded him after his 10th year out to San Francisco, but favorite players isn't going to win you ball games. and the Dodgers have just talent pouring out of their ears like the Yankees do. So gotta go Dodgers here.
Absolutely. Now let's jump into those divisions, right? So we've got the NL and the AL and our picks for every single one of those divisions. You've got your East, Central, and West, of course. Now, let's go a quick rapid fire. We're talking about the AL East first off. I'm going to take the Orioles to win it. No, guys, I'm just joking. I'm joking. I know they're considered the worst team in baseball right now. They have no chances. Funny enough, the worst team in baseball gets paired up with possibly the best team in baseball in the same division. That's fun and how fairness works in the MLB. But the Yankees are going to win the AL East. I mean, the signing of Garrett Cole, we're going to keep saying that over and over because that was such a huge addition in the offseason. That could have been the missing piece, just a nice ace in the hole in their pitching lineup. And, they did have some offseason injuries, but those are gone and healed, kind of thanks to coronavirus and the season delay. So, yeah, got to go Yankees on this one. What about you guys?
As you said, Yankees, stacked lineup, as we said before, Aaron Judge, Stanton, Garrett Cole. There's a young team, a hungry team, a talented team there.
You just look at the roster, you can't believe how good it is, how many superstars they've got playing for them every night in that batting order. Gotta go with the Yankees, but look out for the Rays. Probably a wild card, but has a chance at creeping up on New York because in this short season, all it takes is for one mistake, and you're looking at second place for the whole season, especially in the 60-game schedule.
It's true, and the Rays were very close to catching up to the Yankees last season towards the end of the season as well. So I'm with you, Coop. I think your Rays will be pretty deadly this season.
Let's hope so.
And speaking of chances, the chances of us getting out of any discussion involving the AL East and Cooper not bringing up the Rays is virtually zero. So it's good. Yes. Thank you for it is fair, though. Those are fair comments. The Rays definitely have a chance. Somewhat.
It is fair, but I brought up the Rays when talking about the San Francisco Giants. So, they're always going to come up.
That is true. That is true, too. Moving on to the AL Central Division. Oh, boy. This is going to be an interesting one, guys. Personally, it's a mediocre division. I don't have a whole lot to say about that one. I have to say that the Twins, it's a team that returns a lot of production. They had amazing stats last year. They were the home run leaders last year. I think that I think just based on the division and what they're returning, you're going to see some of the same stats, the same numbers. I have them to win the Central.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dom. I think the Twins are going to run away with it. The Indians could give them a little bit of a run towards maybe the middle or the end of the season. But if we look at last season's when the standings were finished, we have the Twins finished 8 games back. The Indians finished 8 games back of the Twins. But then after that, the White Sox were 28 games back of the Indians. So there is, as you said, a lot of talent disparity in that division. So, yeah, I think the Twins will run away with it.
Yeah, definitely Minnesota is going to win this division. Maybe the Cleveland question marks can catch them with Francisco Lindor. You never know. I call them the question marks because of all what's happening right now in sport. Spiders maybe, or maybe still the Indians. We don't know. Could catch them, but I got to give the nod to the Twins here.
All right. Now moving on to the AL West. I'm taking the A's, and I know this may be a surprising pick to some, but I think that the universe has decided that the Astros are done with their run. I don't think that cheaters can prevail, especially not in sports. I think that with all the negative attention, it's going to come their downfall with their punishments. I personally think that the A's they're the next best team in the AL West. I think that they do have they have a tough schedule. The Astros and the Diamondbacks as well as the Angels. Those are 2 pretty tough teams. They're also going to have to play the Dodgers at some point in their season. But I think that they overtake the Astros this year. I think that they kind of make that next step, and they're the next best team with some pretty young talent.
I have to agree with you again, Dom. I think the A's, I think after this scandal, I think Houston's going to fall apart. That's a lot to deal with as a player, as a team, as an organization. It's losing a lot of that too. There was a lot of suspensions handed out top to bottom for the Astros as well. So I think they're going to have a really hard time bouncing back, and I think they might even fall to third, maybe even fourth in this division when it's all said and done because of it.
All right, this is where I have to disagree with the both of you. I think the Astros will still win this West. I think Oakland is talented, just not as talented as Houston, even with all the suspensions added in. Plus, remember, all these stadiums are empty. So there won't be thousands of people booing these Astros every night. So they won't have to deal with that issue right now. They can just put that out of their mind. They're here to play baseball, and there's no one there that can remind them that they cheated for the past how many ever years. So I got to give the nod to Houston. I still think they're pretty stacked, even with all the suspensions.
But I must pose the question is, with them not being able to cheat, obviously, anymore, because they're going to be under a bigger microscope than any other team in the league now, are they going to be able to play now that they can't cheat? I think that's a question we have to ask is, are they going to be as good as we thought they were when they're obviously not allowed to cheat anymore?
Well, that'll be an interesting thing to discover this year, and this will be a great year to test it. 60 games under a microscope, no cheating. Great to see what happens.
An almost impossible task for the Astros.
Yes.
Those are actually two really, really good points, and I'm very interested to see, because if they slip up, I mean, think about the headlines that are gonna come out nationally. If they start off this season with a pretty bad record, I mean, geez, it's going to be the last 2 years are frauds, and I mean, in some ways they are. I don't doubt that they have the talent, but at the same time, how much did that cheating really come into play with some of those wins? Moving on to the National League, we're going to get into the National League East. I'm happy about this one because now it's my turn to be somewhat of a homer.
All right.
Yeah, I know. All right. I dish it out, but I can also take it. I like the Braves. I got to go with the Braves with this one. It's either them or the Nationals. They kind of, they might jostle around a little bit, but personally, I think that, if they can get their players, they've had some players that have suffered from COVID. They've had some injuries, but I think that due to the kind of time gap between them getting COVID and now when they're about to start the season, I think they're going to be completely fine. I think it's their division to lose. I think they definitely have the talent. Ronald Acuna is, a ridiculous addition, or not an addition, but just a ridiculous asset that the Braves have. He's only going to get better this season. And, I got to go with the Braves here.
I do too, Dom. As you said, a very young team, as we know, and that's why a lot of people were overlooking them maybe last year before they had as much success as they did. But yeah, the young team led by, as you said, Ronald Acuna Jr., fantastic player, real good spark plug in right field over there. But yeah, it's definitely the Braves, I think, division to lose at this point.
I'm going to have to disagree with both of you again. I'm riding the World Series hype. I think the Nationals take this momentum and transfer it into a division win. Juan Soto, he's just on top of the world right now, being, one of the best players to look forward to this year, being World Series MVP. Even though there are some key players opting out for the season, I just got to say that the Nationals, they have that World Series win behind them to push them over those couple key games when they are playing the Braves to win the NL East.
I like it. All solid takes. Now on to the NL Central. Another interesting one. I'm caught up on this one too. I don't want this to be considered fan service by one of our viewers because we have a viewer that I know is a huge Cardinals fan. However, I personally think that they're going to overtake the Brewers this year. I got the Cardinals winning the NL Central Division. Again, not fan service. It is not fan service. But what do you guys think? Am I the odd one out here?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit you with the not so fast real quick.
It's all right. We can't always agree on everything, on everything.
Of course.
Of course.
It wouldn't be good TV unless. So I definitely think the Brewers are poised to make the jump. They only lost the division by 2 games last year. So I think the Brewers are right there, and I think Christian Yelich will only get better with age. He is a young, talented kid, and he's only going to get better and take one more step to what I think is going to be greatness for him.
I gotta agree with Dylan and go with the Brew Crew here. Yeah, they only lost the NL Central by 2 games and have a sour taste in their mouth from last year's postseason, losing in the bottom of the 8th inning to the Nationals in the wild card game. That does not sit right with them. Christian Yelich is a beast. I think the Brewers take this one and they win by a couple of games. I'm sorry to our Cardinals fan out there. No, that we're still friends. I look forward to rooming with you next year. but I gotta go with the Brew Crew here.
Why have I never heard the term Brew Crew? That's phenomenal. I mean, that's so great.
It's a great nickname.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's every frat guy's dream.
Oh yeah.
To own a shirt that says the Brew Crew.
Brew Crew. Saturdays are for the boys. Got all those sayings on it.
Yeah. Give that PR department a medal. Oh my goodness, that's phenomenal. Yes. Oh, geez. All right. The final division, the NL West. This is going to be an obvious one. Clean sweep, guys. The Dodgers. Dodgers are without a doubt the best team. They could be better than the Yankees. I mean, I think it's kind of neck and neck right now, just in the entire MLB in general. That they're just too good. Even with losing David Price, they still have World Series talent. The pitching staff is ridiculously deep. Yeah. I mean, it's just and then they get Mookie Betts. And it's it's over. I mean, that in the division, it's definitely over. There's no question there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people got upset when LeBron matched up with AD to go to the Lakers, but it was just repeated in LA once again with Mookie Betts coming over to an already stacked team who goes deep into the playoffs and chokes every single year. But maybe this is the step towards that final, finally getting that ring. So I think the Dodgers actually will walk into the number 1 seed in the entire NL. I think it'll be an easy contest for them.
Definitely. There's no one out there in the NL West that can stand up to them. Maybe the Diamondbacks win a game here or there, but remember last year they beat the Diamondbacks by, I think it was 15 wins or something like that. It's just crazy, and they only got better. You have to give the division to the Dodgers.
I love it, guys. Yeah, clean sweep there. Let's talk about maybe a World Series matchup potentially. Who do you guys got? I will defer to you.
Well, if I was a betting man, I would go with both of the picks that Vegas has. Vegas has the Dodgers and the Yankees matching up. I just think it's the perfect setting for the time. Sports are struggling. We need 2 of the biggest marketplace teams to match up in the World Series in October while we're all struggling right now. It's a storybook, I think, matchup. So I definitely got Dodgers, Yanks. The talent will take them to the top very easily.
I hear you, Dylan. I hear you that America needs 2 big cities coming together for a great sports event in October. But you know what America also needs? That underdog story. That's why my World Series is the Dodgers versus, yes, the Tampa Bay Rays. But seriously, though, I do have the Rays winning the AL this year. For the past decade, it's always been something for the Yankees. An injury here, a cheating team in the playoffs there. Just something gets in their way, and I don't think that'll be any different this year. Not saying that the Rays are cheating. No. The Yankees will just find a way to mess up again this year, which will open the door for the Rays to take the American League and meet up with the Dodgers in the World Series.
Okay. All right.
I will respect your opinion. Do I think it's going to happen? No. The much like the Dodgers, another team that loves to choke. when it comes to championship level play, especially just with teams from Tampa Bay in general. I mean, that kind of seems to be a common trend. Yeah. Look at that shirt you're wearing.
That's rude. That's rude. We're talking baseball now.
It is rude. It is rude. Yeah, no, I gotta agree. I think that Dodgers Yankees is the most likely outcome. I will say my dark horse to make it to the World Series is the Twins, which is a long shot, but again, that's why it's a dark horse pick. I don't know. Numbers don't lie for me. Big stats guy, and I just think that with their production coming back, especially with a 60-game season, there's a lot of chances for them to just kind of power their way through. So yeah, that's my dark horse, but most likely, yeah, Dodgers, Yankees. Well, awesome, guys. That's a really good preview of what we're looking at for this MLB season. We're gonna jump into segment 2 now. Daddy Likey is recruiting.
Yes, sir.
We are into recruiting, guys. Now, let's talk about some of these top 5 teams. Okay, so we've got the top 5 rankings, everything according to 247 Sports. They're the most reliable. People who follow rivals, unfortunately, I got to say, I love Bama Online. I love, the Ohio State's, rivals.com website. I love all of that. But 247 is without a doubt the most accurate recruiting ranker. They have a composite where they take all of the sites and average them together, and then that's how they do their recruiting. It's just reliable that way. So everything we're talking about is fully from the 247 website. The top 5 class rankings currently for the 2021 recruiting cycle is Ohio State, Alabama, North Carolina somehow, Tennessee somehow, and LSU. First off, when you hear that, I mean, North Carolina and Tennessee, where did they come from? They're sitting way in front of teams like Georgia, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Miami. How they got there, I have no idea. Tennessee has 23 commitments right now, and the early signing period isn't until December, and the official signing day is in February, right? So it's how do they have this many commitments this early on?
I have to say, I like the hype for North Carolina. I like the love for Mac Brown, and I would love to see another team from the ACC start to dominate.
Yes.
I would love to see them in the
nothing
playoffs.
More. I'm full North Carolina. Give them all the recruits. Every single one. Take them away from Clemson. Steal recruits from Clemson, please. Drop the bag if you have to. They'll find out in 10 years. It doesn't matter. Yeah, dude. Mac Brown's doing a great job. Speaking of North Carolina, they actually got their second highest rated recruit committed ever. Tony Grimes, the number 1 cornerback in the nation, he committed just a couple weeks ago to North Carolina. That's a huge pickup for the Tar Heels. Hopefully that
right here from Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Exactly. He's a local boy for Dylan. Exactly.
Represent the 7-5, please.
Yeah. Good for North Carolina. I really do love to see it. I want to see ACC football be somewhat competitive sometime in the near future. I'm looking at you, Florida State. Oklahoma landed another elite quarterback prospect for the 7th, 8th, 9th year in a row. Whatever. That's they're basically quarterback you at this point. I just assume that they are. They've overtaken USC.
They can have that.
They can. It's fine. They don't have a defense. So what are they going to do? Get to the playoff and get blown out in the first round? That's just seems to be the trend, right?
As the story goes.
As the story goes. Yeah. Caleb Williams, right? He's their new commitment. 5-star quarterback, number 1 quarterback in this year's class, Elite 11 MVP, so on and so forth. He's the best quarterback in his class. And he's going to go to Oklahoma most likely. I mean, I don't see him flipping for any team really. They only have the 13th best class, however. That's the thing about Oklahoma right now. They need those defensive stars badly, like we were just saying. It's great to keep getting 5-star quarterbacks, but if you have no defense to, I don't know, keep Texas Tech from putting 49 points on you and beating them by 17, and then getting blown out by LSU by 40 points in the playoff. It doesn't matter. You can keep getting those quarterback recruits, but it doesn't really matter. Clemson is sitting at 9th in recruiting right now, which is pretty weird. They are off to a slow start as well. They actually lost a recruit, very rare decommitment last week. Jordan Hancock, who actually flipped to none other than the Ohio State Buckeyes, who sit at number 1 in recruiting right now. And now we're getting into Alabama. Alabama's been on an absolute tear the last month. They've had one of the most impressive Julys in recruiting that I've ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because, like we said before, you know us, like we've been to Alabama, or we go to Alabama. We're students there. We're not just saying that because of our allegiances. You know, they've gone from ranked in May, they were ranked 50th. All right, they were ranked like 55th in recruiting, and then just in the last couple of weeks, they were 12th. Now they were down to 6th, and now we're 2nd. We picked up some huge commitments of this last weekend. 3 offensive linemen, 2 that were brothers, the Brockermeyer twins. They are the number 1 offensive tackle in the country and the number 1 center in the country, a 5-star and a 4-star. So, you know, Tommy and James, they're congratulations to them. They're joining the Crimson Tide. And then just earlier today, Terrence Ferguson, I believe he's the number 2 offensive guard in the entire country. He committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide as well. And, I mean, this is going to be one of the best offensive lines one of the best offensive line classes that I think most recruiters will say they've ever seen. Most analysts will say that they've ever seen. Most fans will probably say that they've ever seen. J.C. Latham, he's the number 5 offensive tackle in the nation and another 5-star. He's also part of that group. And Alabama's looking to pick up 1 more offensive lineman for this class. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. They're looking to pick up 25 total commitments. You know, they're eyeing 5-star offensive tackle Marius Mims. He's probably a Georgia lean right now, but it's like, I mean, how many more riches can you get? You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. So yeah, Alabama's been on a tear. Let's talk about some of these other 5-stars that are still out there, and a lot of teams are kind of vying for them. Damon Payne, JaQuincy McKinstry, Jason Marshall, those are actually Alabama leans right now. We're going to have to fight with Florida for Jason Marshall. JaQuincy McKinstry, he's kind of an Auburn and maybe an LSU battle, and then and Alabama as well. And then Damon Payne is heavily favoring the Crimson Tide as it stands. Talking about Ohio State, all right, they're the number 1 recruiting class right now. The gap between anybody else in Ohio State is massive. It's about 40 points. They're sitting at 305 in the 247 composite right now. And the next best is Alabama with 269. And, I mean, you know, we can just sit here and just kind of admire that class. It could be one of the best ever. That's what people were saying a while back. Now it's looking like it might be a much closer race because you've got a lot of teams like Clemson, Oklahoma, Notre Dame. They're going to be jumping in the next few weeks. You know, Alabama only has 15 commits, and like I said, they're looking to take 25, so they got a lot of cap space still left there. And then, you know, there's some Georgia, a team like Georgia. They only have 1 5-star committed, which is ridiculous. They usually have like 8, you know, because they spend $40 million on recruiting every year.
Very true. Very
true. Yes, they could pick up a Marius Mims, James Williams, the number 1 safety in the country, Smail Mondon, he's one of the best linebackers in the country. So, guys, there's a ton of recruiting still left to happen. I mean, there are a ton of 5-stars still on the table. You know, it's incredible. This is one of my favorite things to cover, quite honestly. I don't know why. It's just like seeing these guys make their dreams come true and go to these high-profile schools. You know, like, for example, the number 1 and the number 2 prospects in the country right now. Corey Foreman, he's a Clemson USC battle. JT Tuimoloau, he's they're actually the number 1 and number 2 strong side defensive ends, and they're the number 1, number 2 prospects. They're also one of them, JT Tuimoloau, is thinking about going to Ohio State. Emeka Egbuka, best wide receiver on the board, still left. He's thinking about going to Ohio State. It's crazy. Ohio State could end up with 6 5-star recruits this class. Yeah, I don't know. If I'm Michigan, I'm shaking in my boots. I should be every year if I'm Michigan because I have no way in hell that I can, you know, match that level of recruiting. Yeah. But yeah, guys, it's really cool. It's cool to see that this next wave of recruits kind of go in there. Hopefully, they're going to have a season to play for. If not, we'll await their impact in the college football landscape come next year. All right, that's all we got for recruiting. Let's jump into the Madden 21 discussion. They're going to release – let's go. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited.
Heck yeah. Can't wait to drop $70 on this game.
100 if you want it to be able to transfer to your PS5. That's something to think about, folks.
So $100 and then the $700 value of the PS5. That's what we're looking at here.
Yes.
I'm just going to wait till the PS5 comes out, then buy a PS3. That's the plan.
Coop is always 4 years behind.
Try 10 years behind. Yeah, that's Coop's. I'm a decade behind in all gaming. Yeah, I just bought the Atari. You ever heard of it? So
actually, we have an Atari, and it's great. It's one of those retro ones. I would definitely recommend it to anyone shopping at Walmart for a video game console right now.
Well, I'm not even surprised at this point. Talking about these Madden ratings, NFL 21, it's going to be coming out August 25th. Let's talk a little bit about this, right? So, this week we're going to be going over the quarterbacks, the running backs, and the wide receivers for this segment. We're going to break it up into a few different segments, a few different position groups in the coming weeks. Then we're going to be doing the O-line, the D-line, and the kickers, and we'll finish with the linebackers, the cornerbacks, and the safeties. First off, we'll start off with the bang, the quarterbacks. Did they get the quarterbacks right? Here are the top 5 rated quarterbacks in Madden 21 coming up. Patrick Mahomes, 99 overall. I don't think there's any question there. The dude deserves it.
No questions.
If he didn't deserve the rating for his play, that contract definitely deserved a 99 overall player rating right there. Russell Wilson, for a team that
Nope.
You don't like that? You don't like that rating?
Nope.
That's
my first disagreement. That's my first disagreement on this.
Same here.
But I'll let you go through the top 5, and then we can discuss why.
I'm with you. I disagree, too, because the next person on this list definitely should not be this low given what he was doing last year.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson got a 94 overall. That makes no sense.
No.
That needs to go up.
Oh, definitely it needs to go up. He needs to be the second best player. He needs to get the 97 or a 98. Mm-hmm. And Russell Wilson needs to be a 94. Drew Brees with a 93. Okay, Drew Brees is awesome. He also missed, a bunch of games this last season for being injured. His stats weren't all the way there. I don't know why we're going to reward Drew Brees for what happened last season, given the circumstances. I don't know. I don't quite like the 93. Tom Brady, 90 overall. No. No. I think that's just a respect thing. I don't even think he's a 90 overall. I think there's plenty of quarterbacks that are better than him right now.
I have to disagree with you. I think that seems right. I
90?
think 95. It's fitting for him. I can see him age, but with all the offensive weapons there at the Bucs right now, I think 90 is an okay rating for him.
I can see what you're saying being with the Bucs, but then again, this is a personal player rating, and I think personally him by himself, I don't think he's a 90. And some of the people that are behind him are definitely deserve to be above him.
Yeah, it's true.
But
it's true, but I saw this photo the other day that was like it's a win-win for non-Patriot fans or people who hate the Patriots, because if the Patriots do good this year without Tom Brady, they can say that he was a system quarterback.
Yep.
But if the Patriots do bad, it's just good because the Patriots do bad. Yeah. So it's a win-win, right?
Yeah. Win-win, yes.
It's a win-win. It really is. So we can just rail on New England all we want. All right, moving on to the running backs. Let's talk about some of these running backs, right? Christian McCaffrey, 99 overall. I think that's right. I think that's right.
Accurate. Yeah. That's accurate.
That's accurate, right? There's a huge gap between the next one.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
I don't like it either. Derrick Henry at 93.
I think at least a 95.
Yeah,
he's at least
that was my
95. Yeah.
That was my number.
That's too far of a gap. I agree he's the second best, but it's just too far of a gap. I mean, he just rips up defenses here in the South. So I got to give him 95 at least.
Yeah, Again, I totally agree. 95, that's my number. I don't think it's too much. I don't think it's too little. Ezekiel Elliott, Dylan, do you have anything on this one?
No, I think 92 is fair. 92 is very fair. I'm actually very upset with the next two.
Really?
The next two I have big beef with.
For being too high?
For being too high. High.
Okay. I was gonna say I could kind of see that.
I'll let you say the next two, and then I'll let you say the two, and then I'll give the two that I think should be above both of those people.
Okay. Nick Chubb and Dalvin Cook. All right, those are the next two in order on the list. 92 overall and 91 overall in order.
Yep.
I think Dalvin Cook should be above Nick Chubb, and then I don't think that they should be 90s. True. In the 90s. I think they should be like 89, like or both.
The two people I had to swap out real quick was I think Saquon, who is the 6th best rated running back in this, he's a 91. I think he should be a 92 and above Nick Chubb, because Saquon is a beast. I don't know how he doesn't break the strength rating on this thing or the speed rating. So I think Saquon needs to move up a couple of spots. And then I think Aaron Jones is right behind him. Aaron Jones has more production than both of those running backs. So I think both of those players should move up a lot.
Yeah, now that you bring that up, Aaron Jones definitely deserves to be higher than he was, and he should be one of the top 5. I don't know why Nick Chubb was there. I respect Dalvin Cook. I think he had a lot of production, and he's a great talent. But I don't think the 91 overall was right. And I think that, like you said, those two names are probably deserve to be over him. All right, finally, the last little chunk we got here, the wide receivers. So without a doubt, the number one, the 99 overall wide receiver, Michael Thomas, there is no question. I don't think that there's a question. Why would there be? He is incredible. He's obviously the best wide receiver in the league currently. Just behind him, and I agree with this too, DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if there's any dissent there. No? Yeah.
No.
Totally agree. 98
completely
overall.
Fine.
Julio Jones, I have a little bias there, but maybe a 96.
I
think 96.
I think off of pure production last year, I think if we want to go off of that, I think Tyreek Hill, who's right behind him, should be rated above Julio. But nonetheless, Julio, absolute monster. I can't be too upset with where he is overall.
Yeah, Julio has to be on that list. And I think third spot is good for him. I think 97 is good for him. Just his whole career in Atlanta right now is proving that he is up there as the top 5.
See, I'm with you on the I don't know. I like where he sits right now. I think the rating might be too high, but the Tyreek Hill, I don't think Tyreek Hill should be above him, just because Julio Jones, there's Julio Jones and then there's Calvin Ridley and then there's nobody else, right?
Yeah.
But on the Chiefs, you've got he's got 4 or 5 different weapons that he can throw to, and I don't think Tyreek Hill's production was as good as Julio Jones. He's got the speed factor for sure, but overall, I don't know. I think Julio Jones is just a better package, and I think a 96 probably would have been good, but 97 maybe a little bit high. And then, of course, to round off that 5, Devontae Adams, I like that too, because he's basically the only wide receiver that's on Green Bay, and he's the offense. He and Aaron Rodgers. So
shout out to Amari Cooper. He was 6. He was right there.
Yeah. So honorable mention. Amari Cooper.
No qualms with that list, though. Yeah. I think that's a great list.
I also have to agree. Looking over it again, I have to agree with you. But I did notice up here, Tyreek Hill, 99 speed rating and 99 acceleration rating.
Oh, wow. So where to get knocked?
Very, very fast.
Yeah.
His strength is very low. He's a 64 overall in strength. He's a smaller guy. I understand that.
His neck takes up half of his body mass, though.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. So he will never get a stinger. So that is the bright side of that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. I'm very happy.
It's a good list. Yeah, me too. Next week we move on to the O-line and the D-line and the kickers. It was an interesting grouping that we decided to do there.
Yeah.
I like it though. I like it. You got to get kickers for people too, right?
They are.
Kickers are people too. And I'm looking forward to seeing where Josh Lambo lands on that list. The one Jag who can make it to one of these lists. So.
Exactly. Well, hey, you know what? If you want to see where Josh Lambo makes it on next week's list, tune in next week when we get into that. And, we're going to have an all-new show for you coming up next Sunday. This is the Student Section Summer League Podcast.